everybody. Welcome to the United Stand this bank holiday Monday. I'm joined by Ben Foster. How you doing, Ben?
Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Good result for United at the weekend. Final 5 days of the transfer window. But we're going to go with a different angle here. We're going to talk about the goalkeeping situation, funnily enough, with an ex-United goalkeeper, Ben Foster here. Look, where I'm going to phase this is that there's an issue at Manchester United, and it's a transitional issue. And look, I would have kept De Gea for another year because the 55 million that we spent on Onana, you look at that team and you go, I'd have spent it elsewhere. I like Onana, but De Gea, if the money is so limited, why spend it on replacing a goalkeeper that was doing well for a new goalkeeper? So I wouldn't have done the deal. But now we've done it, I like Onana, but always said transitional. It's clearly taking time for that team to adjust to him.
Yeah.
How long do you think that's going to take? And how much of an issue as a player yourself is it when you're coming in for those defenders and for that goalkeeper to get used to each other? Because I was talking at the weekend, I've seen that United defence all last season and it's fist pumps and hugs and there's a unity and everyone knows. That's sort of disappeared at the moment because it's naturally they've got to get used to each other.
This could take a couple transfer windows, and that sounds bad, but for it to genuinely gel and do properly, you might not necessarily have the right ingredients to start with. Do you know what I mean? Some of those defenders might not be able to do what they need to do for what Ten Hag wants, for what the goalie wants. They might not be able to adapt to that. They might not have the qualities to be able to do that. So it might need a couple transfer windows to actually get the players in that can fit that system, that can play that system. I agree with you. I really like Onana. He's obviously a top goalkeeper. He's bonkers. He is absolutely batshit crazy. That first goal that went in against
I was having to sit down on a chair, didn't he? Sort of just, it was my sort of goalkeeping where you think you know what you're doing, and I'm sure he does know what he's doing, but you sort of stutter, and then he ends up just like, because the striker just delayed the shot for so long,
I've never seen anything like it, mate. Honestly, I've never seen any goalkeeping like that. I think he was expecting Onana to just go wallop and absolutely put his boot through it, and he kind of thought, I'll jump back and try, but it just looks comical. Like, I've never seen a goalie just jump backwards and land on his arse before. He did make it very easy for Onana, I'll tell you that.
What should he have done?
What he should have done is slowly move forward to sort of narrow the angle down as possibly as he could, and then maybe just guessed, because at that point the guy's in the middle of the goal. He's got so much space to aim at. You've got very little chance of saving it. But if you come out and then you commit to doing one thing, and that is going to one side down, maybe show him a little bit more on your left side or a little bit more on your right side, for example, and then guess it and get a really late dive and try and hope that you just go the right way and get enough on it. But what he did, it was just, it was phenomenal. Second goal, you can't do anything about the second goal. I didn't like his reaction for the second goal, though, because straight away he's finger pointing and he's arm waving and doing all that kind of stuff. I just think he needs to calm himself down a little bit, and he'll be absolutely fine. He really will. But like I say, my worry is that the players in front of him, not just the defenders, some of the midfielders as well, I just don't think that they have that ability to be able to play that style of football.
It's an interesting one because I in no way am I. Look, the change has been made. Shoulda, woulda, coulda is pointless. This is what's going to happen. And ultimately, it's not on Onana, it's on Ten Hag. And I just think that my concern was always that defence was in tune with the keeper and they had a really good understanding and a really good relationship. And they were very happy. A lot of the fans weren't. They wanted a ball-playing goalkeeper, and that's what they've got now. But it's almost like a lot of fans thought, well, we'll just change that, and everything will be the same, but we'll have a goal. But we've not got the same. There's not the same relationship. There's not the same trust. That's going to take time to happen. And also, it's an interesting thing from Ten Hag because I know we're United channel, but Arsenal have almost done the same with Havertz. For me, Man United and Arsenal overachieved last year. And both managers have decided to make major changes to the team that almost could set it back to go forward. Yeah. It's like a step backwards to go forwards, whereas most managers would go, I'm in a good place, I'm going to add bits that take us to the next level.
But you add little bits around it. You add all little bits around it.
It's a fundamental change, isn't it?
To bring the quality of everything around the place. What they've done is they've gone, right, that team did okay last year, let's add one massive piece to it. But that, I feel it's like it sent shockwaves through the team where everyone now is on edge a bit. They can't just play the natural football that they play. I think when they were with De Gea, they all know what they're doing. They're all on the same page at least. And with Man United, especially last season, the last thing you'd worry about as a Man United fan was your defence or goalkeeper.
Yeah, that was the thing that really...
Exactly.
We didn't score loads of goals. It was that got us where we got.
Exactly. So everybody knew that in the summer, everybody knew that Man United need to get a big boy striker who's good to go, who's guaranteed to score goals. Harry Kane, for example, and I know
But it's funny, isn't it? Because you're right. Like when you think about it, because I think every United fan at the moment, and I don't think anybody watching this will take it as negative. It's more about why have we not started the season well? I know we've got 6 points, but we didn't play well against Wolves. We didn't play well against Forest, and we played badly against Spurs. What's gone wrong? And ultimately, the thing that we were good at last season, we've decided to change.
Yeah.
The things that we needed to improve last season were the midfield and the attack. We haven't done anything with. We've actually made the big change to the thing that was good. And I think in the long term, it probably will work having a ball-playing goalkeeper. But I think you're right. We might have to buy more defenders to make that work. Because what if Wan-Bissaka doesn't work with Onana? What if Varane doesn't work with Onana?
I would worry that Wan-Bissaka probably won't work with an Onana.
Yeah, so you've got to buy. So basically, for some reason, Ten Hag this summer has gone, the defence was working really well, but that's where I'm going to rejig it and disrupt it. When where I was going to go next is, for me, they've got 5 days left. There's a massive problem with United's midfield and attack. Yeah. And I don't know whether they can solve that in 5 days.
Well, unless you've got 100 million quid, you can't. Anyway, that's what it's going to cost to get somebody that's going to make a difference. The worrying thing for me was last week when Ten Hag says, he said something along the lines of, I don't know if we're fit enough or they don't look fit enough or something
after
like
Spurs,
that.
Yeah.
After the Spurs. And I'm thinking, what? How can you have just had a 6 or 7 week pre-season, you're 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and then be saying that you're not fit enough? That's unforgivable. Genuinely, it is. If you're not up to speed come first, second, third game of the season, then you have got no chance. You're on catch-up already. Do you know what I mean? So he'll be making sure that if they haven't got a midweek game, they're doing running sessions on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just to make sure their levels are being topped up. So that worries me a little bit. Again, like you said there, the midfield for me is the big problem. Obviously, when you've not got an out-and-out striker and you're making Marcus Rashford come inside and play in that top, that's just not his position. He's not suited for it. So there's no surprise that he hasn't already scored a goal or really had too many chances this season. He just looks like he's a bit lost, doesn't he?
Having said that, Rashford got a lot of stick at the weekend and his overall performance wasn't good. Yeah. But back on that left wing, he won a penalty and he got an assist.
Put him on the left wing.
So, you put him on the left wing.
Yeah, if you're a right back or a right winger, you see Marcus Rashford there, you're thinking, oh, for God's sake. No. But if you're a central defender and you've got Marcus Rashford, I'd think, yeah, I'd fancy that. I'll just get close to him. I'll get tight to him. He ain't going to spin me. He ain't going to pin me. He ain't going to hold me. I'll be able to deal with that. But out on the wing, no, he gets that ball out of his feet. It's a problem. It's as simple as that.
Few I would describe Pratt's thought it wasn't a penalty on Rashford.
Yeah, it was a penalty.
Yeah.
It was a penalty. I don't know what to argue about. It was a penalty. It was an awful tackle as well.
I'm like, watch it. I'm like, if Wan-Bissaka does that against Brennan Johnson, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
He's done the stupid thing as a defender that anybody will have done at any level. Yeah. You've thought you can get it. You've half gone in. You've realised you can't. I'm pulling out now.
He's going nowhere as well. He's running that, like, at worst case scenario, you just sort of go back on the angle if you're the defender and just try and block the cross. He might get the cross in at least, but he's going nowhere, so don't worry about it. It's not an absolute danger threat there where he might be getting a shot off on just him and the goalie or something. It comes to that point, like Van Dijk did one, didn't he, yesterday for Liverpool?
Yeah.
And I understand, it's a red card. It is. Jamie Carragher's trying to defend it, by the way. I know we're going off topic here, but it's a red card. It's as simple as that, because he knows at that moment in time, Van Dijk, he knows he's been done. He knows it. So he knows that the player's going through with a one-on-one on Alisson, and more than likely it's going to be a goal. So that's why you take the defender. At that point in that Man United game, it wasn't that acute. It wasn't that acute.
Well, it's like, I don't know what they're talking about. It's like if I go and punch you in the face, but halfway along, I think I don't really want to do it. But so I half hit you in the face.
You still
hit you in the face. And that's that's exactly what that defender's done. He's gone in and gone, oh shit. And then he's tried to go out and Rashford's felt the contact. That's not a dive.
No,
that is not a dive. We've seen a lot of players now. We've seen a lot of players. We've seen a lot of teams play now. It's probably going to be something we revisit every week like we did last season. But in relation to United, at this moment in time, having seen what? Have we seen 3 games now?
Yeah,
we've seen 3 games from everybody.
Incredibly, Man United have won 2 of them 3 games as well, because in all 3 games, like, genuinely, Man United could be on 0 points. Don't get me wrong, in the Forest game, listen,
I think they were always going to win that.
They were always going to win that, and without those 2 goals in the first 4 or 5 minutes, it's a freak start to the game. It is. It's as simple as that. Man United dominated. Man United battered them. They were always going to win that game. But after the 3 games, Man United could quite easily be only on 3 points,
Oh, yeah. So what would you think about United now? And I know they've got a few days to hopefully do some stuff, and I think we all know where we need to do that in the midfield, and I'd bloody love another striker as well. But, Liverpool look improved. Chelsea and Spurs haven't got Europe. I mean, who knows? Newcastle, probably similar situations to United. You just don't know what's going to happen. it's probably going to be top 5 that gets Champions League football. Would you put Man United in that top 5 still?
Probably, yeah. I probably
Their
would.
ability to do what they did at the weekend, or Wolves.
That's it.
Win
That's
when
it.
you don't play well.
Mate, that's it. I think because they have got quality in their team throughout it, they're all quality players. They have to be. They play for Manchester United. They just might not gel at certain times, and it might not be pleasing on the eye. But I would. This is a bit of praise and also a bit of negativity against them, because I think if they played Arsenal, any given day they could beat Arsenal. I would. If it was on the telly tonight, them versus Arsenal, I'd be like, don't know who's going to win this one. I really don't know who's going to win this one. If they were playing against Fulham, I'd say probably the same thing.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Yeah, that is the problem for me.
They play to the level, don't they?
Yeah, I just don't know what I'm going to get from them, so I can't predict.
That's a mentality problem.
Without doubt.
Because they play the game in front of them.
Exactly
They don't,
that.
like a Man City go,
Yeah.
well, it's Man City against Fulham, we're going to beat them 3 or 4-0.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, Arsenal's coming up at the weekends. Again, I mean, I think some people will say Arsenal are going to batter us, but United play the fixture, don't they?
I really don't know. When it's them two, anything can happen. Anything can happen. It wouldn't surprise me if people get red cards after 20 minutes, half an hour. It could be a boring. It could be a incredible. I just don't know, mate. And that's the problem with Man City. I know they're going to win. Yeah, they at the weekend they didn't play particularly great against Sheffield United, but they were grinding them down. You knew they were going to grind them down, didn't you? But yeah, Arsenal not particularly great at the weekend, but they're still decent and they've got threats. And Man United I'd put in that bracket as well. They're a decent team, but I can't give you an answer, mate. Football predictions on this week is going to be tough, for that game, because I don't know who I'm going to go for. You're definitely going to go for a Man United win against Arsenal for sure.
I don't know.
But I don't know, mate. I'd say I don't know. I can't even a draw. You could sit on the fence and say a draw, but you just never know.
We'll see. Well, thank you very much for Ben coming on. Get your comments in below. We've gone for a different angle to talk about this goalkeeping situation. It's not anti-Onana. It's just logical that the defence that was our strongest part has clearly been broken up to go for this new thing that could take a while. Thanks for coming on, Ben.
So it's definitely not anti-Onana. I love I think Onana's brilliant. I just think he's probably, and this sounds bad on the rest, but he's probably too far ahead of the rest of his teammates. He's probably,
he's the future.
He's probably too good right now to be the Manchester United goalie at that.
That's a great point. He's the future.
Yeah, that's what he is.
And the rest of them.
And the rest line up to scratch.
And it's a fundamentally big change. Thanks everyone for watching. Get your comments in below. We'll speak to you on the next one.